right. Looks like we're live. I don't know if anybody's watching. It looks like maybe 2 viewers right now. So hello, welcome. My name is Nathan Hansen. I design board games. And today we're going to talk about one of those games. Basically we're going to talk about a game called Think Watson. It's a Sherlock Holmes themed game. So yeah, without further ado, let's just show off what it looks like currently. Alright. So this is the current version of the game, early prototype if it's not obvious. So in previous version, the major change for this particular update is that is this board here. In the previous version, it was a set of cards that you could, each of these was a card, so you could do. Well, the advantage of that was that it essentially gave you infinite possibilities for different cases, but I like having the ability to have art and background, and I think this is a better presentation overall for the 60 canonical cases. So I feel like this is probably the better choice for that. But that's what we're trying today. So yeah. Okay, so game's currently set up as if we were doing a campaign. I can't currently do a campaign because I only have one case designed, but we can play the first case in the campaign as if we were doing a solitaire campaign. Which means we don't need that per se because we're playing solitaire, and that is just track. And if you're playing solitaire, you're playing as Sherlock, and this is to track players versus Sherlock to see if you can beat Sherlock in a multiplayer game. Also read that because, well, we're playing Sherlock. Yeah. So basically then what we're trying to solve the case before the villain marker gets to escape as Sherlock. The way the game works, the sequence and how everything works, obviously we lose if the villain escapes. The way there's a bit of cat hair on the board, sorry about that. The way the game works, the sequence of play here. The first thing you do is you update the case so if there isn't a case, you'll put a new case out. I've already done that part. And then you draw an event card. It's right here. It goes from here down here. You do whatever happens on the card. There's usually some sort of die roll to... My cat's making noise behind me. Die roll or check to get a bonus or penalty, or avoid a penalty, etc. And then you go on to the player phases. The player phases, the first is move, and you can just take your meeple, which I'm using the blue today, and you just go to a location. That's pretty much all that is. It's not mattering in this case yet, although I may change it after I do a little more research. But there's going to be on these boards red lines. I may put one along the Thames here, and have everything be on one side, Thames the other. So then, if you have to cross the Thames, this will take effect. But yeah, basically, if you move across a red line, which doesn't exist in this board, when you place your meeple, instead of placing it on its feet, you place it on its side, and then during the first action phase, your only action will be to stand your meeple up. Actually, that's inaccurate. That's a different game. When you finish your action in phase 1 stuff, you put your meeple on the side 2, and then you only do action phase 2 for stuff that's on the side. So moving, it's effectively the same thing. When you move them somewhere, and it takes the move and the first action phase to move a long distance, is the idea. All right. So then you do 2 actions. The actions are pretty simple. Oh, let me not knock that around. Basically, when you're in a space, you can do any of the things that are in the space for an action by placing one of your discs in that spot, blocking it. You can try to solve a part of the case, and this is not limited by location. It's just they're on the board, relatively close to other stuff, for reasons. Probably should just put those in one section, but it worked with the map like this. But anyways, you can eliminate the impossible, which is trying to solve part of the case, by spending resources, which are over here. We don't have them yet. These are the pools, and that match the icon. So for example, if I wanted to try to eliminate the impossible on this particular piece here, I would have to discard one of these to even start it, and then do whatever the bottom part is. In this case, it's a disadvantage science test versus 9. So I would have to roll dice to try to beat 9, and because it's disadvantaged, I would roll 3 dice and I would keep the 2 worst results. There are ways to mitigate that, but we'll get to that later when it actually gets there. Yep. What did I miss? I missed the first part of the second part of the case update phase. So if there's no case, if there already is a case, you roll these dice and decide to determine whether or not the villain's going to advance. So these are kind of the clock of the game. Yeah, I think that more or less covers it. Any of the 2 viewers have gone, so no questions. Got it. Okay. I guess I'll just start playing then. Okay. Good drink. Okay. So case update. So I got a Moriarty token, I think, so he is going to move. The Sherlock icons are only relevant in a multiplayer game, because they determine that Sherlock is going to advance. It's if you have any Sherlocks at all, he will advance. Alright. That's that. Okay, and then I gotta draw my event. Cat's scratching the walls for some reason. What are you doing? Come here. Okay. Interrogation test versus 10. If I pass it, I can move the thermometer up to the next interrogation level, which is the question mark in a speaking icon. So if I was able to pass this test, this would move up to here, which is pretty good. It's a 3-point move. But if I fail it, you have to make another villain progress check and see if the villain advances again. This is regular check, so I only roll 2 dice. I don't have any resources to spend to modify it, so... Ooh, nice, I actually succeeded. I did not expect to. Alright, so that's that, and then I get to my move phase. I'm going to try and stay somewhat to the books here, and go to one. I think it was either, it was Lorson Gardens or Halliday's Private. I think it was Lorson Gardens, which is where the body was actually found. So I will go ahead and go there first. And if you're not familiar with studying Scarlet, basically, body was found in Lorson Gardens. She wrote in her own blood R-A-C-H-E, which apparently was a distraction thing. It means something in German. I think it means revenge in German, or something like that. Whatever. And the police were convinced that was important, and Sherlock deduced that it wasn't really. It was a distraction or something like that. But anyways, it's been a while since I've read it. Anyways, yeah, so I go there. That's my move. Then the first action phase, I'm going to, looking out here what I need. In order to do my deductions, I'm going to need science. The first three things I'm going to need are 2 science and 1 investigation, so I will definitely do the investigations. Because I'm playing Solitaire and Sherlock, my first action I can do 2 actions. So I'm going to do 2 of them on that. So I'm going to basically all that means is I'm just going to gain 2 investigation resources. Put them right here. Then on the second action, I'm going to do the science one. Okay, that. And that is basically the first turn. We go back up to the top. If the case had been finished, we would do stuff for that. It hasn't. So we roll dice, and the villain advances again. And Sherlock would have advanced if we were doing multiplayer. Do the next event. And that is basically a cycle that I will repeat over and over again now. Okay, a deduction test versus the case thermometer. I don't have any deduction yet, so I can't modify anything. So it's going to be a basic roll. If I pass, all players draw evidence card. That's all text. It's a token of their choice. And failing, all players discard an evidence token. So, yay. And the number I'm rolling against is where the thermometer currently is. I don't have a lot of evidence yet, so I have a hard roll. So I have beaten 11 with 2 dice, and I don't have a resource I can discard to make it better. Also, if I discard a resource, I'm just doing the fail option anyway, so I fail. I guess I'll get rid of one of these since I have 2 of them. Okay. That's that. That kind of sucked, but whatever. Then I will go on to my moving phase and action phase, etc. Oh, so I don't know if I said this before. The way you finish the case is you have to clear all these cards. So that's my real goal for this case. So I'm going to try to... Yeah. I'm going to move just because I don't want to be limited here. So I'll go over here to Halliday's Private Hotel. But if I was sticking with historical, I think I'd go to Constable John Rance next. But... historical from a fictional novel, but so we'll go here. I'm gonna do again double investigate here. Okay, but then for my night action, so do that. And then for the night action, I'm going to try to get this solved. Well, actually, that one's really easy because it's literally just I discard a thing to try to do it, and then in order to actually solve it, you discard a card per player, but it's tokens. So I just discard another one, and I get it. That's solved. Woohoo! Of course, in a 4-player game, that's extremely expensive. So it's yeah, just playing a Sherlock, it's not bad. But that would be my second action. So we go back to the top. No, the case is not done. Moriarty is advancing again. He is advancing quickly. Okay, event. It's a science test. I do have a science I could discard if I need to, but also there's a lot of science out here for me to solve. So, but if I pass it, I do add 2 to the thermometer, which is pretty good. And fail, I just make another progress check for the villain. Well, I'm not going to add to it because I want to be able to put a resource here. So 8, so I fail it, so I get to make another progress check for the villain, and they advance again. So villain is advancing quick. Okay. Yeah. I am not going to move. I'm going to stay right where I am. I'm going to do the 2 sciences. And then I'm going to try and deduce, that was the first action, tip it over. Second action, I'm going to try to solve one of these 2. I'm going to do this one. It's a disadvantage check, so I'll roll 3 dice. Well, first let me spend the resource. It's a disadvantage check, so I'll roll 3 dice and keep the worst, but I can discard 2 additional to go from a disadvantage check to a regular check to an advantage check. So now I keep the 2 highest results. And I'm trying to beat 9. And I can't remember if I wrote the rules, so it's better than 9 or 9 or better, which I probably should check that real quick. Greater than or equal to. Okay, so that is a pass. So I got that one too. Okay, here. My cat is being designing attention. Scratching my leg. Okay, so that's my second action. This goes back up. I do not want you on the table, triggers. Okay, back to the top. We're going to do another check here. We already is advancing every time. Plans go unabated. Okay. Okay, and it's a science test versus the villain progress. So current villain progress is at 10. Okay, so I don't have a science thing, so it's just a regular check, and I get 10 or higher. I did not, so I get the fail result. I'm going to move the villain progress down 1. Yay. Okay. Alright. Oh, one of the action types you can take that I didn't discuss previously is you can just, as an action, remove all of the tokens from the board. I think it's all of your tokens from the board specifically, but the way it's written, but that's less relevant in solitaire game. It's all the tokens. What do I need to do next, though? I need more science. I need more interrogation. There's a lot of interrogation up here. This one's actually pretty easy to do if I just get 1 science, but I don't have a good place to get science by itself right now without clearing the board, and I don't really want to do that yet, so I'm going to move, get Constable John Rance. Going to put a couple tokens down for that to get some interrogation. And do I want to try to eliminate something immediately, or do I want to just get another token? I think I'll just get another token for now. If my second action. Back up to the top. Yay! Didn't advance this time. Okay. Okay, an examine test, which I do have resources I could spend if I need to for that. Versus the villain progress, if I wanted to make it an advantage. Well, if I pass, move villain progress up one. If I fail, I move it down. So the villain's either going to advance quickly now or he's not. Currently at 9. I think I will risk just doing it with regular check. And I will fail, and the villain will advance. Okay. Oh, I didn't put my token down for that, did I? No. From before. Okay. What do I gotta do here? Ooh, here to Charpentier's Charpentier, I can't pronounce it. Charpentier's boarding house. And again, I'm just going to just accumulate resources. So my first action and my second action are both going to be to gain some interrogation. Because there's quite a bit of interrogation going on there. Okay. Back up to the top. Nothing happens. Interrogation test verse 8. Pass, I can add to the thermometer. Fail, I make another villain check. Adding to the thermometer is nice. Oh my god. Especially if you actually use the thermometer correctly, which I haven't been doing because my brain's off. So, when you do a deduction, what I haven't been doing that I'm supposed to be doing is moving this marker down to one below whatever icon is to the right. So, in theory, I should not have been able to do that one. I would have been able to go down there for that. I would not have been able to do this one. If I did it in the opposite order, I would have been able to do that. So, because I don't want to unscramble eggs, we'll just pretend I did that for now, even though I know I did it the other way. It also means I cannot do anything with this until I get the thermometer moved up. So I really need to get the thermometer moved up. So I will spend one of these to make this an advantage check, and I hope getting a free case thermometer move. And that's definitely a case thermometer move. That's 3 6s, so didn't need to spend anything. But okay, right. And for my move, because I need to get the thermometer moving up, I need to go somewhere where I can do that. Which means I'm going to need deductions. So. So going back to Baker Street. First action, I'm going to. Oh, I can't quite do it. Well, first action, I'm gonna turn 3 of one thing into a deduction. Action 1B, because I'm Sherlock. I'm going to turn any one thing into a deduction. I guess that one. The investigate into another deduction. That gets me tonight. Then I'm going to use one of the deductions to gain 2 thermometer. Alright. And then that's the start of the next day. Or not really day per se, but nope, I didn't roll that. Okay, so no advancement this time for that. Examination test versus 10. Ooh, that's a good one. Too bad I don't have an examine, so it's just a straight die roll. I don't have a way to modify that. And I definitely fail it, so make another wheel in progress check. Yeah, got lucky. Okay. I'm gonna need to get my resources back in a second because I only got 2 left. I guess I'll go to Underwood and Sons for a move. My first action, I'll place my last 2 of those tokens out, getting 2 more of the interrogations. Then my nighttime action, I'm going to collect all my discs back. Okay, that's that. Back up to the top, I'm gonna roll these. Just bump, I think that from there, where it's gonna move. Can't remember if I have him move for each one or just if he's like Sherlock and just moves once if he has any. So let me double check myself. I think it's just the one. Okay. That's that. New event. Just straight up do a build in progress. There's nothing for me to do. I get to events again. I need to move fast. Ideally, I want to try to do this next because of where I'm at in the thermometer. Okay. I know I'm gonna need I'll go ahead and move back to Baker Street for now. I think that's a good move. One of my actions is going to be to try to eliminate the impossible on this. So I have a disadvantaged interrogation check. So first discard to try to do that. And that. disadvantage interrogation check and make it advantaged by getting rid of 2 more tokens. So I'll do that. And still fail it. So I just lost the resources, didn't actually finish the thing. Second action. I'm going to convert. Oh, second action, I'm going to do that to convert. Sorry. Yeah, this deduction into 2 thermometer. I could try it again, but it would be a disadvantage this time, and or I can just get another just turn this in for another deduction. I think we'll do that. That was kind of a painful turn. Ooh, Moriarty is advancing. I'm going to lose this game. I'm not going to finish the first case. That's okay. You're supposed to lose more than you win in the solitaire game. Okay. Science test versus case thermometer. Alright. Pass, all players draw evidence card of their choice. I get a resource I want over my choice. Fail, all players discard evidence card. That's fun. Science test, I don't have resources discard anyways, and also solitaire doesn't make sense too. I fail, I discard evidence card of my choice, I only have the one. That was painful. Okay. Yeah, well I may as well finish the game, I'm about to lose anyways. Okay, then I'm going to need science. I want to finish at least one of the 3 stacks, so I'm going to move over to Holidays Private Hotel. I'm going to just go ahead and do that to get 2 science. My night turn. Yeah, I'm just going to eliminate the impossible on this one. This is going to come down to here. I'm going to spend that, and then the make a villain progress check is what I have to do for that one. They probably should be rolling that on the table, you could see them, but did not progress. So I got that one. I cleared at least one of them. Got a third of the case done. Kind of, because it's a short stack, but I feel better about myself. Yeah. That was the end of that turn, so another progress check. Beginning, nothing, okay. Cards come out. And villain progress check. Oof. Okay. Let's see. Really need some more interrogation, and I need at least one more science, so oh, it's still in progress, so it's actually really easy to do right now, so yeah. So my move, I will move over to Larison Gardens. I will, for my action, yeah, I'm gonna get both the resources just to, why not? And I can't do Limiting Impossible yet because I don't have this in the right spot. So I guess I'm gonna get one of those resources as well. The investigation. Alright, that's that. Let's see if... Yep, they're advancing. Oof. Test versus bill in progress. At least that's easy. I'm not going to spend my resource because I kind of want to have it. I think I'm pretty good at beating this anyways. Wow, I still barely managed. Rolled 3, but it was enough. Jeez. So the idea behind that, by the way, since I kind of feel like I can discuss that right now, the further along the villain's progress in his plans are, which is what this represents, the more evidence is effectively mounting against them. I mean, even if it's subtle things, you're supposed to be Sherlock Holmes, you're seeing the subtle things too. So the easier it is to detect it, the further along he is in the plan. So that's why it gets easier as he gets further in progress. Anyway, that's that. Gotta move somewhere. I need to get some deduction. So I can, okay. So I'm just gonna move over here. Do that. Convert these all into a deduction. Second action, I'm going to clear everything. And third action, Sherlock, I will use that deduction that I just got to move the thermometer up. Yeah, okay. And see if Moriarty advances. He does. Good event. Ooh, a deduction test. I don't have a deduction because I used it. But it's versus 8, which isn't bad. I still failed it. It was 7. So the fail is to make another villain progress check. And he advances. Oof, Moriarty's getting away. Gonna move to somewhere to get some resources for. Gonna go talk to Constable Rance again. So why not? I'm gonna get at least 2 of these resources. The interrogations. My third action, I will to disadvantage check. I don't know if I want to wait till next turn actually to do it. Yeah, I think I would do. Although that's getting dicey over here. Alright, back to the start. Yep. Examination test versus the case thermometer. I will do that, actually. I will discard one of these to make it an advantage check against case thermometer because I got to beat an 11. And I failed it anyways. So the fail happens, all players discard an evidence card, so I really shouldn't have done that. And I'm moving. I'll move here. And you don't have to move, I could save if I want to. There's very little reason to. Yeah. Go ahead and do that to get some more interrogation resources, and then I'll try to eliminate the impossible. Okay. Discarded 1 to even start it. To disadvantage interrogation checks, I'll discard 2 more to get it to be an advantage check. And still failed miserably, so just wasted all the resources because I rolled a massive 4 on my advantage check. And that was the last of my turn, so this could very well be, yep, that's it. That's game. I didn't even finish the first of 5 scenarios. Not that I have the other scenarios designed, I was only going to do one scenario regardless. But that is how the game works. Yeah. It actually felt pretty good to me, aside from, the fact that I lost, but that I'm okay with the fact that I lost in a solitaire game. Let me go over some other stuff, though. So, obviously, this is the solitaire version. The multiplayer version uses a little bit more. There's a few key details that are different. You only get 2 actions in the multiplayer. Each person gets action 1, action 2. In solitaire, Sherlock, because you're playing Sherlock, action 1 you get 2 actions, and action 2 you get 1 action. Which is something of a major advantage for Sherlock, but he's also getting less overall done, more focused, but less overall done than the multiplayer version, because there's just generally more action on the table between villain progress. But he's also not clogging the board as much. So with these tokens. Other things. Up here, there's a Sherlock progress and villain progress. Numbers effectively. That is for when a new case comes out. So if I'd solved this case and another case came out, and we're doing multiplayer, the Sherlock token would get reset to whatever number that is, which will be different on different cases. 15 in this case. So this is kind of a big one. And then the villain progress would go from wherever it currently is up a number to a max of 15. So if it was at 4, it would go to 9. And that would be where you're at for the next case. Because his overarching plan got set back a little bit. Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else I need to discuss with this? Does anybody have any questions? Nope, because no one joined. Okay. All right. So, what changed from the last discussion to this discussion, as I said, was this board, which I like. I think it was a good choice. Certainly, if it feels better to move around on a visible map than it does from card to card. So that I like, and that's definitely a change I'm going to stick with. I'm still going to need a deck of cards for selecting the cases, because I don't think these will all be the same size mats. Some will be larger, some will be smaller, depending on the case and how much space is required for the visuals. And I need a good method for randomization of choosing. So when you choose a new case, it needs to be a random case, not just a players choose. It could be players just choose what they want to do if they want to do it that way. But it needs to be a randomization method. So I'm going to have a deck of cards with just the case names, and then you randomize, find the case name, and then you pull the mat out. Probably how I'm going to do it. Now, the main disadvantage of changing to this method, of course, is that with the other method, you effectively had infinite cases. You would still be able to do 60 cases that are, these combinations of cards is a case. But you lose the ability to say, I'm just going to throw 10 random cards down and see what that's a case now. It just means they're more designed now, which I think is good. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Most everything felt right, to me at least. Aside from, that I forgot how the case thermometer worked in my own game, that kind of. But there was only 2 actions that spoiled. Yeah. The other major change. The way in the previous, here, let me show that. In the previous system, I was specifically stating which of these type cards were in each stack. So the left stack had all 4 types, and it was specific order. And honestly, that was sort of an arbitrary decision anyways. So there was no point to it. So I changed it to just a stack of 2, a stack of 4, a stack of 3, but it's randomized. So that's where the random variability will come in for cases in this case. Yeah. And instead of having random cases, you have random evidence that you need to find. So yeah, guess that is it. Yeah. So mouse work. Okay, there you go. So if I don't have any viewers right now, and that's fine. But if you watch this video later, you like content, please like, subscribe, comment below. I really, especially comment below. I want to get feedback on this so I can make some decisions. If something looks weird to you, if you've read the book and you think you're crazy, you shouldn't have this in it, tell me. It's been a long time since I've read it, actually. And I'm going to need to read a whole bunch more because I want to make sure I'm accurate to all of it. So yeah, do all the YouTube algorithm stuff if you enjoy the content, and I'll see everybody next time, maybe.